Ladies and gentlemen, I've returned from the Shadow Realm and welcome back to your 2019 NFL Week 5 edition of the Chiseled Adonis pre-game analysis show. I am the host and the CEO, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. And this episode is sponsored by the Hold My Nuggets podcast, all right? Here only on the Chiseled Adonis YouTube channel and also on the Marv Glover YouTube channel as well. We got it on Spotify, we got it on iTunes. Links will be in the descriptions. You guys can go and check it out. Another exciting episode was uploaded last night, episode 11. Some football talk, some banter back and forth between myself and my co-host Marv Glover, fellow comedian as well. Check it out, man. It's always funny. Nonetheless, let's jump right into the games. And you know I love Week 5 because Week 5 is what really got the train going. With the Nick Folk jokes 2 years ago, but we ain't talking about him right now. I'm not trying to get emotional. So let's break down exactly what's transpiring this upcoming week in Week 5. Okay, first and foremost, Thursday Night Football, NFC West battle, heavyweight battle. The Seattle Seahawks are hosting the Los Angeles Rams. Now, a lot of people, as they always know, when you come to Seattle to come play a football game, it's going to be tough. I'd be shocked if a team walk in there and walk out with a W like the Saints walking in a couple weeks ago, walking in and walking out with a W. I ain't see that one coming. But hey, all right, this is the Rams coming to town. And I think the Rams about to take that L. I'm rolling with the Seattle Seahawks to win this game, man. I loved the way Jameis Winston played last week. Shredded that Rams defense, and I believe Danger Russell Wilson can get that done, man. He turned the hoe into a housewife. He could turn some yardage into points. I think he'll be able to do that. All right, now the run game needs to get going for Seattle, though. They need to get the run game going because it was virtually non-existent for Tampa Bay, and Jameis was still able to go and do his things because they scored early, they scored often. So if the Seahawks want to win this game, score early, score often, because that Rams offense, high-powered, they will come back, okay? They'll be able to put up some points. But if they want to do that, they better get Gurley going. You can't have Gurley with 5 carries. That's not 5 carries, 10 total touches, or 11 total touches. That's not going to cut it. He's got to touch that ball at least 15 to 20. But the 10 to 9, I don't care. Get that man the ball. Get him the ball, bottom line, period. And that defense has got to step up. Because that secondary is underperforming yet again. They need to step up if the Rams want to have a chance. But I think Seattle's going to go and take care of business. DK Metcalf, I'd like to see some more from him. The last game he was virtually silent. I'd like to see some more. I'm loving what they're doing with Disley and coming from the tight end position. He's finding his way into the end zone. But I'm rolling with Seattle because they're at home. Now the Rams can walk away with this W. Now Aaron Donald usually always has a good game against Seattle. He's the X factor for the Rams, as he always is. But I think Seattle's just gonna have enough to go and kick that game-winning field goal and walk away with a W. But I could be wrong. It's leaning either way, but I'm leaning more towards Seattle. That's what I got on Thursday Night Football. Next, let's move to Sunday. We got the Jags traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. This will be a test for a young Kyle Allen, because I'd like to see what's gonna transpire with that Jags defense that's always head hunting, especially in prime. Well, not necessarily a primetime game, but they're gonna be head hunting. They're highly motivated. They're coming off of wins with Minshew having the highest passer rating I think since he's taken over for Foles. Whatever the case was, rookie of the month for offensive rookie of the month. So that's going to be very interesting to see how things play out. I think Carolina fizzles out with that 2-game win streak that they had going. I think there's a game that the Jags can walk in because they've showed their resiliency the last 2 games, especially this past game against Denver. I'm choosing the Jags to win this game, and I'd love to see what I saw last week from Fournette. Get that ball in his hand. I don't think he's going to run for 225 yards again, but I think he'll be able to go over 100. Carolina, if I'm them, again, as beautiful as it is with Christian McCaffrey having damn near 200 yards of total offense by himself, other people got to get going. If it's just him, it's over because the Jags will not allow this man to run the football. They will not. You saw what they did to Derrick Henry a couple weeks ago. They're going to try to do the same thing to Christian McCaffrey because they understand, we're not going to let him beat us. So the onus is on Kyle Allen to get the job done, get the ball in Greg Olsen's hand, get the ball in other people's hand. But nonetheless, I'm rolling with the Jags to win this game on the road. Now, we got the Cardinals taking on the Bengals. Battle of 2 winless teams. who will finally get their W in Cincinnati. This is interesting to me because the Bengals defense has been so atrocious against the run. I think this is going to be the game where David Johnson comes out and reminds the league how good he actually was once upon a time. Now, if he doesn't, he's done, washed up. Don't have, like, whatever, he's getting paid like $30 million like per year, or 20, no, not 30, I don't think I'm bugging, I think it's like 20 something. So he's up there. But if he can't get the job done against the Bengals, what are y'all paying him all this money for? All right, he's not a capable back at that point. But I think this will be the game in which the Cardinals finally get themselves that W. I would absolutely love to say the Bengals are going to come out at home and finally get that W. But man, they got T. Sizzle on the other side playing for Arizona. As old as he may be, he knows the Bengals inside and out, given his history playing with the Ravens in their AFC North battle. So he's going to know how to get around that left tackle. He's going to know how to tell the rest of the D-line and those other linebackers who's going to be coming with their heat how to get around those right tackles and those guards in that center. So I think the Cardinals finally get themselves a W. I think this game is actually going to be entertaining. I think it's going to be a back and forth game. I think it's going to be one of those games like reminiscent of when the Browns played against the Lions in like 2009. I think it was Brady Quinn and Matthew Stafford, and both teams were like 1-8, and ended up being probably one of the best games that season, if not the best game that season. I don't think this will be a candidate for the game of the year, but I think this game will actually be entertaining with Kyler Murray taking on Andy Dalton. But I think the Bengals going to drop to 0-5, and the Cardinals finally going to get themselves a W. Oh, and congratulations to Larry Fitzgerald becoming the second all-time leading receiver, passing Tony Gonzalez for receptions. That is absolutely sensational, and Jerry Rice was in the house to see it. I would love to see Larry pass Jerry Rice, but I have an emotional connection to Jerry Rice since growing up. I'm like, yo, that's the greatest of all time. I always wanted to emulate him. Obviously, my talent didn't match, my fortitude mentally, but nonetheless, Larry's doing his thing. Dreadlocks Hall of Famer first ballot for sure. But I'm choosing the Cardinals to win this game. Next, the Falcons taking on the Texans. This game is interesting because the Falcons are going on the road. And Falcons on the road are completely different than the Falcons at home. However, they're playing in a dome. All right, you go into the land of dreadlocks. And Houston, they're letting me down when it comes to protection. All right, they haven't been the best at protecting Deshaun Watson. But then again, we saw this last year. Same old story. So if you don't protect Deshaun Watson, game's going to be closer than it really should be. Because honestly, the way that the Falcons defense has been playing, I expect to see DeAndre Hopkins go out there, rub his nutsack, have a 3-touchdown performance, 170 yards on 11 catches. I expect to see that happen. Because what did we just see last week? Because we just saw last week A.J. Brown was rubbing his nutsack all over that defense. So what is going to be the deal here? I think ultimately Falcons going to have to take that L, man. I'm rolling with the Texans to win this game. I got the Texans winning this game, man. I don't think the Falcons going to have enough. They have virtually no run game. So it's all on the oldness of Matt Ryan. That offensive line's not doing their best job protecting him either. So this game is ultimately down to the O-lines. And although the Texans' one is worse, the Texans just have more quote-unquote firepower on offense, given they are at home. The Dreadlocks' power will kick in for DeAndre Hopkins. I'd love to say I'd have Julio, rubbing his nutsack all over other people because I expect to see that happen. But for some apparent reason, the Wi-Fi connection is not working well between Julio and Matt Ryan over the course of the last couple of weeks. Like, he's got into the end zone the first 3 games, but outside of that, there hasn't been the game. Outside of the game with Philly, there's never been that, Julio Jones on the field. Julio Jones is a terror. You don't really feel that. It's just a couple isolated plays and that's it. So unless the Falcons get that together, I got the Texans winning this game. Next, the Bucs and the Saints in New Orleans. Can Jameis Winston and the Bucs replicate the exact same dominance offensively that they had last week in New Orleans? I say no. Why? Because that New Orleans Saints defense was at a 10 this past week on Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. All right, now if they come out like that against the Bucs, Jameis is in trouble. They in trouble. Offensively, because they gave up that 40 points, pardon me, 33 points, because you can't really count the pick six. It's not offensive touchdown. But they gave up that 33 points to the Rams. And granted, the Rams is the Rams. The Saints are still capable. I'm a bit concerned of how the Bucs plan to stop Alvin Kamara. So I'm hoping they'll be able to shut him down if they want to go out there and get that W, because it's essential. You force Bridgewater to have to go out there and beat you. The Bucs corners, I don't know if they're going to be able to stay with Michael Thomas. But then again, Michael Thomas ain't the same Michael Thomas with Drew Brees as he is with Teddy Bridgewater. So you would hope the Bucs defense are able to at least take away one of the pieces. If I'm them, I would double down on Kamara, try to shut him down and get him under 50 all-purpose yards, period. And then force Teddy Bridgewater to have to get the ball out of his hands and force him to have to beat you. Because if you go out there and you shut down Michael Thomas, you shut down the whole passing game, but Kamara's running all over you, you're gonna have a bad time. As for the Saints, Mike Evans is having a sensational year. All right. Now, if I'm Marshawn Lattimore, as they were saying, because coming into the pass game, this man was playing absolutely atrocious. But when he has a big time matchup, all of a sudden he decides, oh, I remember how to play football. Let's come out to go play. I'm going, play. I'm a hold firm and play good football. Well, damn it, you better show up this game because Mike Evans murdered Janoris Jenkins. So I would like to see what's going to happen with that particular matchup. I got the Saints winning at home, but honestly, this Bucs team is very impressive. I've sung Jameis Winston's praises since he came out of college. I'm one of the few people who still believe in Jameis. I don't care what nobody says. I believe in Jameis, and Bruce Arians will be the person to turn this man's career around. But Jameis, he needs that help. People got to protect for him. He desperately needs a run game, but I think he's going to still perform well. I got the Saints winning, though. Next, the Vikings traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants. New York Giants, where Saquon Barkley apparently they're talking about. He's not going to play this particular game, but they're saying he could be back for the game against the Patriots, which is wild. You got a high ankle sprain. My man, stay home. Rest your legs. But we ain't talking about him right now because he's not playing. Vikings in desperate need of a win, underperforming, and because of that, I think they're going to come out like a wildfire and freaking murder this Giants team. Let me tell you why. First and foremost, you just saw the Giants continually give up a ton of yardage through the air, especially when they played against the Bucs. I expect to see whether it's Thielen, whether it's Diggs. I think Cousins going to have a sensational game. I think they're going to probably combine. I think Cousins probably might just throw for 400 yards. I think Adam Thielen and Diggs will go over 100. Kyle Rudolph will find his way into the end zone. I think there's going to be one of those aerial attack sort of games where they murder him, and then it's going to open up the entire second half for Dalvin Cook to run, and he's going to go over 100. I think the Vikings going to have over 500 yards of total offense. No disrespect to the Giants. All disrespect to the Giants. I don't think they're going to have enough to stop them. As for Danny Dimes, you've seen him turn the football over. You've seen him, have a lack of awareness whenever he's feeling the pressure to where he'll either fumble the ball or whatever the case may be. Last game was a bad game, but it was enough to go out and get the W because Dwayne Haskins was giving the ball right back to the Giants. Ultimately, that final pick six as well. I think this particular game, the Vikings will operate as a well-oiled machine. I think that defense get themselves a couple of forced fumbles, but they only recover one. I think they get maybe 2, if not 3 interceptions off of Danny Dimes. I think the Vikings go in there and they take care of business easily. I cannot see a circumstance in which the Giants walk away with a W here. I think the Vikings are going to roll. I honestly think they're going to roll and get this W over here. Bears taking on the Raiders in Oakland. Only thing that has to be said about this game is we're going to find out who's the real Gruden grinder. Khalil Mack is coming back home. He's going to be firing on all cylinders. So for the Bears, offensively, you don't have Mitch Trubisky. It's going to be Chase Daniel. Khalil Mack. That's really all that got to be said. I think he's going to have a virtuoso performance. 5 sacks. If not 5 sacks, 3 sacks. 2 forced fumbles on a running back. Whatever the case may be. That whole defensive stat line, it's about to be Khalil Mack. I think they're going to be an interception from Eddie Jackson. Maybe he's going to take it to the house. Perhaps Kyle Fuller. Maybe he's going to take it to the house. Clinton Dix. Maybe he takes it to the house. Prince of Mukamara. Maybe he takes it to the house. All I know is I'm feeling a pick six in my soul coming off the fingertips of Derek Vehicle. Now, for the Raiders, I think they'll put up a fight, But the Bears, ultimately, this might be their best defensive game of the year because that team is going to rally around Khalil Mack, and I cannot envision a circumstance in which Khalil Mack don't have a big time game. So all I got to say is we fixing to find out who the real Gruden grinder is, and that Gruden grinder is Khalil Mack. Next, the Jets taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia. This is not even a question. Eagles fixing to roll. I think they might just start off slow. I think their first possessions might end in a turnover and a 3-and-out. And then after that, it's all them. The Jets, it's over. Take the L out of Lover. It's over, brother. I don't think they're going to be able to generate anything. And the Eagles coming off a big win in Lambeau last week, and they know the Cowboys just lost, so they're right there. They need to keep pace. Eagles going to be firing at an all-time high for the Jets. Get healthy. As I said before, take the L out of Lover. It's over, brother. They taking that L. Got the Eagles winning. The Bills taking on the Titans. I've learned my lesson. Tennessee, I'm rolling with you. I understand the Bills. Yes, you got Josh Allen injury. Even he may be coming back. He's still in the protocol. They're not too sure what's transpiring. As of right now, it's still up in the air. At first, they said he was out, and then after that, I've heard, no, wait, there's a possibility he could play. Whatever the case may be, regardless of how good they've been on the ground, I'm taking Tennessee. I believe in Tennessee. I think they're going to be able to get it done. Are they going to run the ball effectively? Oh, no. Are they going to, stop the pass? I believe so. All right. I think Malcolm Butler, although he happens to be a walking human highlight against him, I think he'll make a couple of plays. And ultimately, Derrick Henry, he's going to make just enough. I think he can set up third and manageable for Marcus Mariota. And Mariota will use his legs in order to go out there and get that W for the Titans. I think the Titans going to have just enough, man. I wanted to say the Bills so bad, but with the injury to Josh Allen and just how the Titans have showed up on a very consistently inconsistent way, I think this is when they finally get that little tweak, that little consistency coming. I think they're going to go on like a 3-game win streak. So I'm picking the Titans to go and win this game. At first, I want to say it can go either way, but man, I'm rolling with the Titans. I got the Titans. Patriots taking on the Redskins. Upset alert? No, there ain't no goddamn upset. It's about to be embarrassment. Necrophilia. It's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad. The Patriots about to thrash the damn Redskins. They're going to thrash them. And the funny thing about it is I think the first quarter is going to actually be competitive. I don't know who's going to be starting. I would hope it'll be Haskins. So you have him go out there, big time game. Because if it's Case Keenum, game's already done. If it's Haskins, the Redskins have a small percentage of a chance. I think they have a better chance winning with Haskins in starting this game than Keenum. Not because, they don't got too much tape on Haskins, but because those young players, knowing it's a big time game and they have something to prove, they end up going out there and playing above and beyond. I don't know what it is. It almost always happens. But I have the Patriots winning this game, man. I think Devin McCourty might just mess around and get his 5th consecutive interception to open up the season because he's had one every single game. Stephon Gilmore's locking people up. Adrian Peterson trying to run on the ground. I don't know why the hell Jay Gruden's not putting the ball in his hand frequently, but then again, they're falling behind so early. What's even the purpose of running the ball? That defense, Josh Norman is about to give up touchdowns to Josh Gordon. I expect to hear the flash all day long. I got the Patriots win this game. I can't see the Redskins pulling the upset, man. Broncos taking on the Go Chargers Go, and now Go Chargers Go. I got the Chargers winning this game, man. Broncos can make this interesting. Joe Flacco can take them down the field once again. But the Broncos continually kill themselves, and the referee screwed them over as well. I think roughing the passer penalty, late flags has screwed them throughout the season. However, I like the way the Chargers are playing. And more importantly, Melvin Gordon is dressing, but he ain't playing. Or then again, he's going to be dressing. Who knows if he's going to play. Last game, he ain't getting no snaps, but he's there. So he's one of those people, hey, I'm ready if you need me, sort of situation. So you never know. But I got the Chargers winning this game. I don't think the Broncos are going to be able to stop him. Chubb is off the field now, so really your only pass rusher is Von Miller. And coming into week 4, they had no sacks up until Von finally got himself a sack. That secondary, I don't think they're going to be able to guard Slay. Keenan Allen going to have himself a game. Defensively, I'd like to see some more from the Chargers. I would really like to see more sacks. That would be very nice. That secondary, they got to go out there and perform because Emmanuel Sanders has had, whenever he has like a 5-catch game, these past couple of games, it's been like 5 catches, but over 100 yards or 90 or something like that. So you got to guard him. Cortland Sutton, I was really impressed at what he did last week. But I got the Chargers winning this game, man. AFC West battle, I got the Chargers winning this game. I don't think they're going to win big, but I think they'll probably win by 10. But the Joe Flacco and the Broncos will mess around and still come back, and then ultimately they'll cut it to 3, and then Phillip, anti-condom, no pull-out poppy, going to do what he do. And they're going to win by 10. I got the Go Chargers. Go. Next, the Packers and the Cowboys in Jerry World. This is a game to circle. And God damn it, I wish it was on Sunday Night Football. This is going to be beautiful. This is going to be beautiful. Every time Aaron Rodgers comes to town, I don't know what it is, you just sit there like, oh wow, the Cowboys took the lead with 2 minutes left to play. That's nice. That's beautiful. Because A-Rod just does his thing, man. I got the Packers win this game. I will never choose the Cowboys to beat the Packers if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. I was just watching a throwback video from 2007 where Brett Favre got hurt against the Cowboys and Aaron Rodgers still kept it competitive until the final drive. So I don't know what it is. Whenever he plays against the Cowboys, that man comes to play. He comes to play. And because of that, I got them winning. More importantly, on the ground, I would like to see a run game from Aaron Jones outside of the one game against, what was it, Minnesota. He's done nothing, but he has to step up. Aaron can carry them only but so far. However, that defense, if they can't stop Zeke, it's going to be bad. You just gave up 83 yards to Jordan Howard. You gave up 77 to Miles Sanders. And Zeke is coming to town. You got your only sort of objective. Stop Zeke. To hell with that. Stop Zeke. If Zeke goes over 150 yards on the ground, it's going to look bad. I still got that bad man Aaron Rodgers winning the game. But it's going to be, that defense needs to help him. Because it can get bad. If Zeke starts to get whatever the hell he wants and the Cowboys score on every drive, oh, it's over. It is over. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. Initially, I said 21-17, having the Packers win. But thinking more about it, I think the defense is all going to come to play. It could either be a 21-17 game or it could mess around and be a 41-38 game. It's one of those situations. It entirely depends on how the Packers defense play. If the Packers defense come to play, it's going to be a low-scoring game because I think the Cowboys will be able to replicate. But if the Packers defense just giving up runs left and right, I think it's going to end up being a high-scoring game because Aaron Rodgers is going to be much more motivated to go out there and score points. So it's entirely indicative of how the Packers defense play. But I got the Packers winning this game, man. Aaron Jones, as I said, he has to come to play, but that linebacking core for the Cowboys, they not about to let nobody run the football on them. But it's entirely up to the Packers D. If you can keep Zeke at about 70 yards, you put yourself in a better position. You put it at 150 for this man, it's fixing to be a shootout. I'm telling you right now, but I got the Packers winning. I got that bad man, Aaron Rodgers, getting that W. Colts taking on the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I got the Chiefs winning this game. The Colts have found ways to lose, and they allow teams to score early and often. And the Chiefs, although they've had first quarter struggles, I think they fixed that, and they score early, they score often. I don't think the Colts are going to be able to keep up at all. No way, no how. I got the Colts losing. All right, Patrick Mahomes, he ain't scored a single touchdown last game. I think he rubs his nutsack for 5 on the Colts defense. And the Colts defense is no slouches. But I think it's going to be just enough. They're in Arrowhead on the ground. I think Shady McCoy can get going. Darrell Williams can get going. I kept saying it was Damian Williams in my commentary. I apologize about that. It was Darrell Williams. You see Williams, you just assume, hey, it's the other guy. That's on me. But I think the Mahomes, he's going to get the job done, man. It's going to be free real estate all over the place. Jacoby Brissett, I think he's going to still play all right. I don't think the pass rush of the Chiefs is going to get to him. He's going to have time. I'd like to see what's going to happen with Marlon Mack. And get the run game going, but I think the Chiefs going to come out fast. They're going to come out scoring fast. They're going to come out scoring often. I got them winning big, and the Colts gonna have to play up, catch up once again. But if you got Eric Ebron on your fantasy, I'd probably start him because I think he's gonna have a big game. They're gonna lose, but he's gonna have a big game. Browns, 49ers, Monday Night Football. Oh boy, this is a tough one because initially I said the Browns, but damn it, Jimmy G, I think he's gonna be able to pull it out, man. I think he's going to be able to pull it out. You know who's my surprise on the ground? Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert. I think they both have a very good game. I think they're both over 80 yards running the ball. And then that just pretty much makes things easy for Jimmy G to get the ball around. I think George Kittle has himself a very good game, if not the best game of his season. This particular game, I think he's going to get going. Jimmy G, I think he's going to be poised. Myles Garrett might end up costing his team with a roughing the passer penalty. He's going to also go out there and do his thing, but damn it, something in my soul is telling me the 49ers are going to get it done. And that defense, I think they're going to get a couple of pick sixes on Baker, man. I think they're going to get a couple of pick sixes on Baker. I think that defense is going to score twice. Whether it's a pick six and a fumble recovery or it's a, whatever the case may be, 2 fumble recoveries for a touchdown, whatever it's going to be, I think the 49ers win this game. And more importantly, I expect this game to be very exciting. One of the games of the week. So I got the 49ers winning this game. And last but not least, we got the Ravens taking on the Steelers in Heinz Field, AFC North, bloodbath. Not really as much as a bloodbath as it used to be because you don't got names like Suggs, Lewis, Reed, Nada, Ward, Palomalu, Roethlisberger, Bettis, freaking all those other names that was there for that rivalry. It ain't there. Hell, Flacco ain't even there. So it's going to be interesting. I'd love to see how this plays out. However, Pittsburgh, big-time confidence boost. What just transpired against Cincinnati. And on top of that, when Pittsburgh plays at home, they're a much better football team. Now, the Ravens defense, which has given up last week, which was kind of odd, where Baker shredded them, and on the ground, Chubb ran all over him. I think James Conner has that potential to do the same. I don't expect to see 165, but I think he's one of those runners who can stay high, stay up, run people over, and keep going. And Jalen Samuels, I was very impressed at how Pittsburgh had their run play calls this past week with all the different motions and the misdirections and direct snaps. I love that, and I think if they go out there and do that, they can definitely get the Ravens. But this particular game, Lamar Jackson. To hell with Mark Ingram. Lamar Jackson. Back-to-back games you've underperformed. This is a game against a favorable opponent. You can throw against the Steelers. You definitely can. So he's got to go out there, Hollywood Brown, get the ball in his hand often, early, because I think he can beat the Pittsburgh safeties. Minkah Fitzpatrick, I'm expecting a better game from him. But ultimately, for the offense of the Ravens, it's on Lamar Jackson. Defensively, they got to get to Mason Rudolph. Because if Rudolph is untouched like he was against the Bengals, you're going to have a bad time. I don't expect him to go out there and sling it for 400. But if he's just untouched and he's got time and they can open up the whole playbook because he's got a ton of protection, you're going to have a bad time. So for the Ravens, get to Rudolph. On offense, Lamar's got to be able to sling it effectively. Because Mark Ingram's going to do his thing for the most part. But I don't expect a lot of people to end up running on the Pittsburgh Steelers at a high sort of rate. But you can throw against Pittsburgh. So if I'm Baltimore, I'd want to go out there and possibly throw the football. If I'm Pittsburgh, for one, establish that run game. If you establish the run game, it's over. You saw it work against Cincinnati. You didn't need 100 and plus yards on the ground. It was just enough to make them say, okay, wait a minute. All right, they might run. And now the play actions and everything else is there. But take care of the football. Cincinnati probably would have been shut out if he didn't fumble, if Deontay Johnson ain't fumble, and then that led to a field goal. Take care of the football because Baltimore will turn those turnovers into points. But I got Pittsburgh winning at home. And that is my prediction for week 5. All of my predictions. Let me go down the line once more. I have the Seahawks winning. Matter of fact, I'll just say who I got winning. Seahawks, Jags, Cardinals, Texans, Saints, Vikings, Bears, Eagles, Steelers, Titans, Patriots, Chargers, Packers, Chiefs, 49ers. Those have been my picks for week 5. This has been your 2019 NFL Week 5 pre-game analysis show. I have been your host, the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. Episode was sponsored by Hold My Nuggets Podcast. Go check that out on my channel. I'm headed back to the Shadow Realm, and you enjoy your football Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. To the Shadow Realm I go.